Hello students, today we will take up the last part of the nitrogen containing compounds, and this part is about amines and diazonium salts. So let us start with the presentation. So amines, they are what? They are basically the derivatives of ammonia. So we know ammonia has the formula NH3. So when one or more of the hydrogen atoms are replaced by the alkyl or the aryl groups, then it becomes amines. So when there is one hydrogen atom replaced by an alkyl group, it becomes a primary amine, that is RNH2. When two hydrogen atoms are replaced, that means R2NH, it is secondary amine. When three hydrogen atoms are replaced, it becomes a tertiary amine. And since only the hydrogen atom is being replaced, so the structure is very much similar to that of ammonia, that is sp3 hybridization, and geometry is also same like pyramidal. And since the three sp3 orbitals, hybridized orbitals of nitrogen, they are involved in bonding with hydrogen or the carbon atom. So the fourth one, it remains, unoccupied by, it contains an unshared pair of electrons. Now, if you have to classify the amines, so there are basically three types of amines: primary, secondary, and tertiary amines. Primary means when there is one hydrogen atom replaced by alkyl or aryl group. When two hydrogen atom means replaced means secondary amine. When all the three hydrogen atoms are replaced, that means it becomes R3N or AR3N. It becomes a tertiary amine. If we see the nomenclature, so the aliphatic amines, they are called alkyne amines. The aromatic are called as aryl amines. Okay, so they are also like primary, secondary, and tertiary amines. And here at the bottom, if you see, some examples are also given. So the derivative, the amine is the IUPAC name is given such that the E of the arene is replaced by amine. Okay, now we will see some examples, like in case of primary amine, so there is methylamine or methenamine, ethylamine or ethanamine. In secondary amine, it is dimethylamine or N-methyl methenamine. Then tertiary amine, then trimethylamine. Then when there is some other aryl derivatives are also given at the bottom, or like aniline, if you see, it is called phenylamine or benzenamine. So benzene derivative, benzenamine. Now we will see some of the methods of preparation of amines. So one is simply by the alkylation of ammonia. That is called as ammonolysis. Also we will see how it is. So when, for example, ethyl bromide, it is heated with alcoholic ammonia at 373 Kelvin in a sealed tube. Then it gives a mixture of these, amine derivatives: ethylamine, diethylamine, triethylamine, and the reactions are also given accordingly. Simply, if you see, when ammonia NH3 is made to react with an alkyl halide RX, then hydrogen HCl, HX gets removed, then RNH2 is formed. Further RX adds, so R2NH is formed. Further RX adds, so R3N is formed, and then eventually quaternary ammonium salt, that means R4N plus X minus, that is the salt, is formed. And the reaction stops here. Now this process of cleavage of the CX bond by the ammonia molecule, it is called as ammonolysis. And so we say that the amine is a nucleophile. And but see, this method is not suitable for preparation of primary amines because again a mixture is obtained which is difficult to separate. And also it is found that in the presence of alcoholic ammonia, what happens is that the tertiary butyl bromide, if it is used, then it undergoes elimination instead of substitution, and a different product, that is ISP-butylene, is formed. So if you want primary amine, then we need to take excess of ammonia. The second method of preparation, it is a very important reaction from exam point of view, that is Gabriel's phthalimide synthesis. That means using an amide, an aryl amide, and made to react with an alkyl halide in the presence of KOH. That is ethanolic or alcoholic KOH or potassium hydroxide. So the intermediate it forms is a potassium salt of the phthalimide, which further reacts with the alkyl halide, followed by hydrolysis to give the primary amine. Now, the issue with this method is that aromatic primary amines cannot be prepared by this method. Why? Because aryl halides, they do not undergo nucleophilic substitution with the anion form of the phthalimide. Second is from oxime. So we know oxime is aldoxime or ketoxime. So when either of these oximes, when they are made to react with sodium and ethanol, then we get corresponding primary amines. Then For example, if you use acid aldoxine, then it gives ethylamine, and similarly, the different derivatives give their respective amine derivatives. The second method is from alkyl cyanides or nitrites. So when these nitrites or cyanides, when they react with sodium in ethanol, then we get a primary amine, and this reaction is named under Mendius reaction. And it is used for preparing amines which have one carbon more than the starting. So this is a chain increment reaction. For example, if we use acetonitrite, CH3CN, and we reduce it with sodium ethanol, then we get the corresponding CH2NH2 group in case of CN. So it gives ethylamine or ethanamine. Similarly, when we use phenyl acetonitrate, then we get the corresponding phenyl ethylamine. So aryl nitriles can also be reduced to aryl amines by this method. The third one is from amides. So we know amide is RCONH2. So when they are made to reduce with strong reducing agent, that is La, lithium aluminum hydride, then it gives corresponding amine. So the carbonyl group gets reduced to the alkyl group and it becomes amine. Then from nitro compounds, we know we have studied in the previous lecture also that nitro compounds, when they are made to pass through hydrogen gas in presence of catalyst nickel or palladium, then it gets reduced to amine. So 10HCl it is used, so it gives stannous chloride, and then it then reacts with the NO2, nitro compound to give amine, respective amine. Now, if nitrobenzene is used, it gives aniline, and if nitropropane is used, it gives propanamine. Now, if La is used, it also gives the corresponding amine. Next is again a very important reaction, that is Hofmann bromamide degradation reaction. So by this method, primary amines are prepared. So what is done? The amide, it is made to react with bromine and NaOH, ethanolic solution of sodium hydroxide, and then we get sodium carbonate and sodium bromide as the byproduct and primary amine. Now, this reaction is important because in this reaction, if we see the mechanism, then there is a migration of the alkyl group or the aryl group from the carbonyl carbon of the amide to the nitrogen atom. So you see that red arrow is given, so R goes next shifts to the nitrogen atom. So initially it was bonded through, bridged through the carbonyl group, but then during this reaction, this migration occurs. So the amine which is formed, it contains what? It contains one carbon less. Why? Because the carbonyl carbon has been removed in the form of sodium carbonate. So that is why it is called as degradation, because there is chain decrement. There is one carbon less than the reactant. So when propanamide is treated, it gives ethanamine. When benzamide is treated, it gives aniline. Now, if we see the physical properties of these amines, so if you see the state, the physical state, the lower members are gaseous with the fishy odor, and primary amines with 3 or more carbon atoms, they are liquid, and still higher ones are solid. And aniline and other aryl amines are usually colorless, but they become colored on storage because of reaction with the oxygen, atmospheric oxygen. If we see the solubility, then the lower members, the lower amines, aliphatic amines, they are soluble in water. Why? Because they can form hydrogen bonding with the water molecules. But with the increase in the molar mass, this solubility decreases. Why? Because increasing the hydrophobicity of the alkyl part. And that is why the higher members are insoluble in water. Now we see one of the properties, that is basic nature of amines. So how it is confirmed when amines are made to react with acids, mineral acids like HCl, they form respective salts. So acid reacts with base to form salt. That means the amine is basic. Now why are they basic? Because they have lone pair of nitrogen, lone pair of electron on the nitrogen atom, which can be donated. That is why it acts as a Lewis base. And they also act as Bronsted-Lowry base. Why? Because it accepts a proton from the acid. So if the reaction is given, for example, ethylamine, when it reacts with dilute HCl, it gives ethyl ammonium chloride. Now we know that the basic nature is given by Ka or Kb. So Ka is for the acid, Kb is for the base. So higher the value of K, lower will be the value of pKb. So if Kb is higher, pKb will be lower and the base will be stronger. So if we see the Kb and the pKb values given for the primary, secondary, tertiary amines, ammonia and aryl amines, we find See, the trend is given over here. So we see that primary amine has a lower pKb followed by secondary, but then tertiary suddenly increases. We will see why this trend is being followed, and then gradually it goes on increasing. That means the basicities of the reverse order. Now, so if we see based on this, we find that, you see, what happens is that the electron releasing inductive effect of the alkyl group plus I effect, it increases the electron density on the nitrogen atom. So what happens is that it becomes really available for the proton. Proton can easily attack because it is electron rich. The nitrogen side is electron rich and the proton is electron deficient. Now the alkyl ammonium ion, it gets stabilized due to dispersal of the positive charge. So that is why the aliphatic amines are stronger bases than ammonia. Why? Because they have alkyl groups. Now the basic nature, ideally it should increase with the increase in the number of alkyl groups, but this trend is followed in the gaseous phase. So it does follow like tertiary, then secondary, and then primary, and then ammonia. But in aqueous solution, a different trend is obtained. Why? We will see why. See, the reason is that energy of solvation contributes to their stability. So greater the size of the ion, less is the solvation and lesser is the stability of the ion. So in secondary and tertiary, I mean, what happens because of the steric hindrance, this trend is reversed. The alkyl group, it decreases the number of water molecules that can approach closely and solvated. Hence, in aqueous solution, the order is different. Now we will see some of the reactions of amines. So here the first 2-3 reactions, they are very important because they are actually kind of distinguishing test between primary, secondary and tertiary amines. So like we studied in aliphatic and aromatic nitro compounds also, no? Primary, secondary and tertiary nitro compounds. So HUNO reaction with nitrous acid was used. Similarly here also. So what happens is that nitrous acid, it is unstable and it must be prepared in the reaction solution by mixing sodium nitrite. So for HONO source, we need to use sodium nitrite with acid, NaNO2HCl combination that will generate HONO that will be involved in the reaction. So what happens with primary amines, they react with nitrous acid to give a diazonium salt like it is given in the equation. But this diazonium salt is highly unstable and it degrades into a carb cation. And this carb cation then can react with any nucleophile. That is why reacting primary amines leads to a mixture of alcohols or alkenes and also alkyl halides. Now the secondary aliphatic and aromatic amines, they when react with this NaNO2HCl, that is nitrous acid, they give an intermediate nitrosoamine, that is yellow oil. So nitroso derivative is given. But the tertiary ones, they react and produce some ammonium salts which dissolve in water as a clear solution. So all three of them react differently. Similarly, the second distinguishing test is the Hoffman elimination from quaternary hydroxide. So it is 3-step reaction. The first is the exhaustive methylation. Exhaustive methylation means replacement of the hydrogen atom by the alkyl group till we get a quaternary salt, that is 4-degree salt it is given. Then this quaternary salt then reacts with silver oxide to give the corresponding hydroxide, quaternary hydroxide, and silver halide will be precipitated. And then this quaternary hydroxide, then it is heated to give an elimination product, that is alkene and the tertiary amine. So when primary amine reacts, for example here, it ultimately gives secondary and then tertiary and then a quaternary ammonium salt. Then it reacts with silver oxide to form the respective hydroxide, which then undergoes dehydration or heating to give alkene and a tertiary amine. Then isocyanates or the nitrile compounds. So here also the reactions are different. So the primary amines, they when heated with CHCl3 chloroform and alcoholic KOH solution, it will produce a foul odor of the isocyanate. So this foul odor is because of the RNC, isocyanate. What is isocyanate? It is an organic compound with the functional group RNC rather than RCN. So the CN, the cyanide functionality is connected to the organic fragment via the nitrogen, not via the carbon atom. So this is the difference between cyanides and isocyanates. And as zwitterion means the nitrogen atom carries a positive charge and the carbon atom carries a negative charge. That is called as zwitterion. It is formed. For example, primary amine, when this is basically mostly, this reaction is given by primary amines. So when they were to react with CHCl3 and KOH, it gives isocyanide. For example, ethyl amine, it is made to react and it gives a corresponding isocyanide or isonitrite. Then aniline also gives the same reaction. The next is the acylation of the amines. Now, see, acylation means RCOCl or the acyl chloride. So, primary and secondary amine, they are acylated at room temperature to form pen-substituted amides. Tertiary are not acylated. Why? Because they do not have hydrogen atom attached to them. So, this is another distinguishing test between primary, secondary and tertiary amines. Again, the same reaction is given like ethanamine, it gives N-acetyl ethylamine, and then diethylamine, it gives N-acetyl diethylamine. Then the next is the alkylation of amine. This is again, like we just studied, Hofmann exhaustive alkylation. So in a primary amine, it is heated with an alkyl halide, primary alkyl halide, it gives a mixture of secondary, tertiary, and quaternary ammonium salt. So first it gives secondary amine, and some part of that secondary amine gets converted to the tertiary amine, and then further it gets converted to the quaternary amine. But there will be some part which remains unreacted. So there is some secondary amine remaining, there is some tertiary amine remaining, and also the final product, that is tertiary quaternary ammonium salt. Next reaction is Hinsberg test. It's a very important test. That is the reaction of aride sulfonyl fluoride. That is C6H5SO2Cl. So when this reacts with an amine, so what happens? Removal of an HCl molecule goes away and both the species combine together. So the corresponding product is N-ethyl benzene sulfonyl amide. So when the secondary amine reacts, it gives the corresponding NN dialkyl substituted product. Then the last one is the electrophilic aromatic substitution. Simply, for example, aniline, if we take example, it undergoes substitution by bromine with bromine using bromine water. So there is 2,4,6 tribromo derivative is obtained. When it is made to react with acetic anhydride pyridine, then the corresponding anilide is formed. And then further on bromination, it gives parabromo acetanilide, which on further reduction again, it can give the parabromo aniline. Okay. And if in case of acetanilide, after acetanilide, if we use a different reagent like nitrating mixture, we use, then instead of bromine electrophile Br+, we will get NO2+, which will get substituted at the para position, and we get para-nitroacetanilide, which on reduction it gives para-nitroaniline. Next, we come to the second part of the presentation, that is diazonium salts. So what are diazonium salts? They are also very important when it comes to studying the nitrogen containing compounds. So diazonium salts, they are what? They are a group of organic compounds which share a common functional group. The common formula is RN2X, and it stays as N2 plus X minus. That is why it is a salt. So R, it can be any organic residue like alkyl group, or it can be aryl group, and X is an organic or inorganic ion, anion like a halogen atom. So how are they prepared? See, like aliphatic primary amines, when they are made to react with nitrous oxide, we know that we get alkyl diazonium salts. Now these are unstable and they decompose to form alcohol with the release of nitrogen gas. Aryl amines, when they are made to react with nitrous acid, this reaction actually requires 5-degree temperature. So that's why this reaction is done in using ice. So you might be, there are practicals where you prepare these dyes, diazonium salt, and this reaction requires ice. Why? Because this requires 5-degree centigrade temperature for the diazotization process. So the product we get is arene diazonium salt, which are stable for a short time, but then it decomposes to give the aryl carb cation. The reaction is given over here. And then this aryl carb cation is made to react with further, some other compound to give a dye, corresponding dye. So, like this reaction is given, preparation of benzene diazonium chloride. So, by the action of nitrous acid on aniline. Then 273 to 278 Kelvin means 5-degree temperature we need, and we get the diazonium chloride, benzene diazonium chloride. So this is colorless crystalline solid. It dissolves in water and it also decomposes easily with the dry spin. But if we use the fluoroborate derivative, then it is insoluble in water and it is stable at room temperature. We will see some important reactions of these benzene diazonium salts. So 1 is the replacement of the diazonium group. So when this N2X group gets replaced, so one reaction is Sandmeyer reaction, where the corresponding, for example, if you want to replace the N2X group with the halogen atom like chlorine atom, then we will use CuCl, HCl. If we want to replace with the bromine atom, then we will use CuBr, HBr. If you want to replace with the cyanide group, we will use CuCl, HCl. So this is named under the Sandmeyer reaction. So the corresponding derivative will be formed. There is very important reaction is called as Gattermann reaction. We've also studied previously. So when the diazonium salt is formed with copper powder in HCl or HBr, then it gives the corresponding aromatic halogen halide, and with the release of nitrogen gas. But this reaction has a poor yield. Now, when we want to replace with iodine atom, okay, iodine halogen atom. So for this we need Ki to give aryl iodide. When we want to replace by fluorine atom, then it is named under Ball-Schiemann reaction, and this involves thermal decomposition of the fluoroborate which is formed. So for this, the reagent used is HPF4, hydrofluoroboric acid, and then it forms an intermediate salt, which on heating it gives the corresponding aryl fluoro derivative, or aryl fluoride. Then the next one is replacement by the OH group. So phenols are formed. So when N2X is replaced by OH, then it becomes phenol using dilute H2SO4. Then replacement by a hydrogen atom. So for this we use H3PO2, that is hypophosphorus acid, or ethanol. Then it reduces the diazonium salt to the corresponding arenes. And then we want to replace the N2X group by the NO2 group. Then we usually use HBF4, and it again gives an intermediate salt, which on this reaction with sodium nitrate in HCl and NO2Cu copper, then it gives nitro derivative. So one very important reaction is the azo-coupling reaction. Like I just told, the benzene diazonium salt which is formed, it is made to react with some other, maybe phenol or some other compound which is electron donor, and it forms a dye, azo dye it is called as. So such reaction is called as coupling reaction or azo-coupling reaction. Now this is the most widely used industrial reaction in the production of dyes and pigments. And the aromatic diazonium salt, what they does, they act as electrophile. So they need an electron-rich species. And so the substitution, it will occur at the para position. Now, if you want to know the product, it will be like ARNN AR dash. So this, because of this NN form, diazo group, they absorb in the visible region, and that is why the dyes obtained are colored. But these salts, these ions are basically very, very mild, and they are very selective electrophiles also. So if we use with this aryl diazonium ion, if we use benzene or toluene or anisole, then it will not give any reaction. But when it is made to react with an aromatic compound which has a powerful electron donating group like OH group or amino group, then it will give the reaction. For example, here this example is given when benzene diazonium salt, like I was just telling, the diazotization followed by the dye formation. So it is made to react with phenol. Then it gives a yellow-orange color diazo compound, which is para-hydroxyazobenzene. And this reaction is base catalyzed. And instead of phenol, if we use aniline, then the corresponding dye obtained is called as aniline yellow. And if we use a secondary alkylamine, that is an dimethylamine with the benzene diazonium salt, and then we get a different dye, which is yellow margarine, which is a coloring agent. And so one of the important application of these diazonium salt is that they are used as intermediates in the preparation of a variety of aromatic compounds, including dyes. So student, that's all for this topic. Thank you.